the machine volume not doing anything. Oh, okay, hang on.
Jonathan.
So this is actually appropriate music for the overlay.
They play King of Fighters dolls.
Yeah. So we meet you with like Brian?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so low.
Is there a setting?
Well, that wasn't low.
But it's not okay. But it's not coming out of the TV though, right? It's coming out. Oh, okay. So there's
some here.
There was sound when you got into an encounter. There was sound.
Yeah, we've heard the.
Okay. This isn't completely essential, but it would be nice if I could get this to work. It'd be really cool.
Is that never dry?
So, yeah, it's SD to SNES. Yeah.
Can I sit on the couch?
Yes, absolutely. Nope, that's too early. It would be really, this isn't absolutely essential for the run, but it would be cool if I could get this RNG manipulation to work for the beginning of the run.
I should have 3 fit.
Try me.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
What's this pre-prep before the run actually starts?
Yeah. Nope, okay, so I'm going too late. Doing this too late. This is based on an audio cue on the title screen. I'm trying to do the C92 now, but it's.
Get the 420 seed minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is part of the run.
Hell yeah! I know, this is...
Nope, that was too early. Okay.
Timer should have started like 3 minutes.
Oh, is it coming through there? That might actually be easier to work with. That might actually be a little easier to work with.
Oh, he's like, I thought he was trying to feel the static of the CRT. I wanted to learn how to play Crypto.
You need to sit in the middle.
Dude.
Okay, but it's mixed in with the other stuff. That's why. You know what? It's actually easier. So, okay, what I was just doing there is basically RNG manipulation for the beginning of the run. So it's not completely essential, but the way encounters work in this game is that you have there's an encounter seed that you're going to be on, and there are 256 different encounter seeds because it goes from 0 to 255. So the way we set this up before the run starts is that we have a save file that is in a glitched room that sets the memory of the memory of the system to a known state. We have another save file that we know is on a particular seed, on seed 223. So by getting to that known state and resetting to the title screen, on the title screen that encounter that seed encounter increments every frame. So we want to get to this specific seed, seed 92, by using an audio cue on the title screen, but it's frame perfect. So you have to just listen for that cue and hit it exactly at the right time. And it takes a few tries normally to get it right. It's kind of annoying, but okay, so now we're good. We're ready to go.
You good? Right.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
3,
Okay?
2, 1, go.
Alright, let's go.
All right.
Dork it up.
All right, shout out to 8 minutes of cutscenes. Welcome to a Final Fantasy speedrun. So, like any good Final Fantasy game, we're going to start off with like about 7 or 8 minutes of cutscenes, which actually would have been a good time for me to explain the RNG manip, so I should have started the run before I did that. That would have been a better use of time. Shout outs to the Red Wings. What the RNG manipulation does, if you get on C92, is that if we go through the optimal step path at the beginning of the game, it ensures that we get 0 random encounters up to Mist, basically, after the Mist Dragon, which is basically the tutorial boss at the beginning of the game. If you've played Final Fantasy IV before, you know when you beat the Mist Dragon and you go to Mist, that's where you meet Rydia for the first time, and there's a cutscene that triggers when you get to Mist. So one of the major glitches of the run is called Mist Skip, and what like that implies, we skip over that village, that cutscene trigger, in order to avoid triggering it so that we can do some shenanigans, basically. You'll see when we get to that point. Right now, we're basically just mashing through text as much as possible, or as fast as we can.
Before we continue, we just want to say we hit $500.
Yeah! Woo! Very nice. All right, so one of the spots of RNG, actually during this intro cutscene, while you're mashing through text, there's these 2 scripted battles here with the floating eyeballs, and there's another one with a giant raven coming up right after this. Now the question is the Raven going to attack me before Cecil does anything? No, so that's actually pretty good. So this is actually off to a good start. So in both of these battles here, the enemies can try to hit you before Cecil does the attack that kills them, and it's all scripted. It's not like you're going to die or anything, but you lose 2 seconds if the enemy attacks you, and it's completely RNG whether or not that happens. So that's actually kind of a good start to begin with. So basically what's going on is Cecil works for the Kingdom of Baron, and he's the captain of the Red Wings, this knights on these airships here. And the king of Baron has been tasking them to go around and collect these elemental crystals from different villages. And during the intro, you saw them going to Mysidia and stealing the earth crystal from there. I think it was the earth crystal, yeah. Or was it water? It was the water crystal. Which he's stealing one of the crystals. It doesn't matter. There's some crystals. The king wants them, and he's being kind of a jerk about it. And Cecil's having some second thoughts about following his orders. So the cutscene is almost done here. Well, the first part of the cutscene is almost done. This is a fairly long intro. Things get more interesting once we get out of Baron. So.
Why do you speedrun Final Fantasy IV?
Basically because I wanted to learn some new speedruns, and I had speedrun Mario RPG before, so I figured, oh, this is a JRPG. That'll be just like Mario RPG, right? Yeah, not really. They're kind of different games. And they were doing this for the Get Yourself Speedrunning event, which Speedruns Live does every year. And what they do is they try to get runs that will get new people into speedrunning and make big races out of them. So Final Fantasy IV was, Paladin Percent specifically, was one of the races that they did for this event. So it was a big race. There was like 70 people in it. And right after that, they did a tournament that they had, which just finished the group stage. And that tournament had 106 people in it, I believe, which is huge. So that was why I was looking for something to learn, and they said, oh, this isn't too bad. You can learn this pretty easily. So we're going to go over here. We're going to grab this tent, because this tent is going to be really, really important for pulling off Miss Clip later on. Now, what I have to do during this intro is basically just walk the optimal route so that I don't take any extra steps here. There's going to be a few more, like, people are going to stop and talk to me, and I have to mash through some text in this intro part. But the important thing is that coming up in the tower, when you're in a town like this, you don't get any random encounters, right? But every step that you take increments the step counter. And the encounter seed that you're on, which we set up to be seed 92 at the beginning, is what determines which steps you get encounters on. So every step we take is increasing that step count and is checking whether or not we get an encounter. So in the castle, in a village like this or in a castle, there are no random encounters. But outside there is. So almost every tile increments that counter, except for this one right here with the stool on it. So what we do is take one extra step here to increment that counter so that it matches the actual number that we would take. If you don't do that, the very first step you take outside of Baron will be a random encounter if you're on seed 92. So this is basically just to avoid that and set that up so that the places where we would normally get random encounters will be spots where we can't actually get encounters. And the rest of the time when we're walking all the way to the Mist Dragon, we won't get any random encounters. Now, once we do Mist Clip, we have to reset in order to get the whole part of that glitch to work. So once we reset and go back to the title screen, we'll be on a different encounter seed. And so after that point, all bets are off. So what you can do after that point, if you get really into this run, is you can do step counting. And basically that involves a giant spreadsheet with all of the different encounter seeds and what steps you would get encounters on, and you can figure out which encounter seed you're on based on which step you get an encounter on. And once you know which seed you're on, then at certain points you can say, okay, I need to take 10 extra steps here, 5 extra steps here, whatever, in order to minimize the number of encounters that you get. The only problem is that requires a giant spreadsheet with all the encounters on it, which I don't have memorized. So for this marathon, I'm just gonna go and we'll see what encounter seed we get, and hopefully it won't be too bad. It should be fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for that really, really great explanation. Somebody grab this
Really
guy a
good
water
ones.
because he's going to be talking a lot.
Yeah, seriously. That would actually be really great. Thank you.
I would like to say that if you want to donate, we do have an incentive where if you donate money, you can tell us your favorite Final Fantasy game. Minimum $5. If you want to let us know your favorite Final Fantasy game and why. Okay? And we're going to bring it back to Dork Masterflek.
The correct answer is 6 for the record.
No,
just
no,
in
no,
case
no.
you're
7.
wondering.
7. No, no.
Oh, I'll fight you, bro.
I'll fight you, 7.
I'll fight you.
Team 5 over here.
6 is my personal favorite, even though I'm running 4 right now. The only problem with speedrunning Final Fantasy 6 is that it's really heckin' long. It's like a 6-hour run if you do it glitchless. Ooh, thank you. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be helpful.
The sketch glitch has a chance of hard locking your cartridge, right?
Yeah, a sketch glitch is tricky to pull off and can completely lock your console. And if you do sketch glitch, that's like about a 4-hour run, but it's still pretty long. The Paladin run here is about a little over an hour, and it's basically the first half of the full any % no credits warp category. So that's only about like 2.5 hours. So as far as RPG, this is another reason I wanted to sort of learn this game is it's a JRPG speedrun that's really short as far as JRPG speedruns go, like abnormally so. So most JRPGs are much longer than this, and they involve a lot of crazy stuff going on in terms of menuing and figuring out what to do in certain situations. There's a lot of improv involved, especially in something more like Final Fantasy VI. Now before I forget, all right, now we're finally out of the intro. All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna change the battle speed and the message speed so that they are as fast as possible. And then we're gonna go down here to the Chocobo Forest and we're gonna grab a Chocobo because Chocobos are great. And what would a Final Fantasy game be without Chocobos? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what it would be. Yeah, so we're gonna take the Chocobo up to Mist Cave here. And now we're going to be in the Misty Cave. So now, again, we should not get any encounters during this as long as I don't make any missteps. I think there is also a bit of leeway here. If you do misstep, there's a bit of leeway where you still won't get any encounters. Go back. Yes, exactly. The place where the text box comes up is actually an encounter spot. So there we go. So now, if we go up here, now we get to fight the Mist Dragon. So during the Mist Dragon fight, we're gonna set up the first part of the item duplication glitch. We're gonna equip and unequip and re-equip Cecil's shield during this fight. Okay, so in order to do this fight optimally, the Mist Dragon is gonna turn into mist at a certain point, which means you're not gonna be able to attack him anymore. And when that happens, I want to be able to get 7 attacks in total, 2 jumps and a jump and 2 attacks with Cecil twice, and then an extra attack with Kane. Then he's going to turn into Mist, and then there's an audio cue for when he turns back to try to kill him as quickly as possible, basically. So now Kane should get an attack in. Now he should turn into Mist. There we go. So now what we can do is skip Cecil here. We'll parry with Cecil and go back to Kane. And wait for an audio cue in order to do the jump when he turns back to normal, which is coming up right here. Okay, so now with Cecil, we're gonna go in here, equip and unequip and re-equip the shield there. Now you notice the spot that I equipped and unequipped it, it moved over to the other inventory slot, and then when I went to re-equip it, I went to an empty slot. That's completely intentional because that basically sort of glitches out that item equipment slot on Cecil. So now I'm pretty sure if I just do a couple more attacks, he should be about dead. It varies depending on your damage rolls. The damage rolls can vary kind of wildly in this game. So I got a little bit unlucky there. It was an extra attack with Cecil. All right, not bad. So that was fine. There's not really any danger of dying in this. So now that we got through the Mist Cave, I'm gonna save before we do this trick, just in case we screw it up. All right, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so. Okay, sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk to the right. I'm going to take a little bit of extra time just to explain, but if we walk to the right and then walk back left and open the menu on the same frame, like that, and then use the tent. So now what this has actually done is shifted the camera 1 tile over. It looks like we are right next to Mist. We're actually the tile to the left. So if I walk into the next tile over into Mist, we're not actually going into Mist. So now I'm going to basically do the opposite thing where we go right and open the menu at the same time, like this. If I go into Cecil, he's got a 5 next to his left hand. So there's a glitch slot here. We equip the Shadow Shield and unequip it again. It's disappeared now. This is totally normal. Nothing's going crazy. There's nothing suspicious at all. So now, if we reset, after saving there, we're going to be on a new encounter seed now, but that's okay because we got past the first part. So now, we're on top of Mist. We can go over to the other side and enter Mist from the right. So you're not supposed to enter Mist from this side. If you enter from the left like you're supposed to, you're going to trigger that cutscene. So we've completely bypassed this cutscene trigger. And if we go to the weapon shop here, and we go to sell one here where the shield was, yeah, we get a crap ton of money. We get a crap ton of money. So now we have a crap ton of money, and we just bought 10 dancing daggers. And here's Rydia's dead mother, by the way, from the cutscene. She's just hanging out. Don't worry. We'll get to her in a bit. Don't worry. So now we have access to the village of Mist, which we're not supposed to have access to until much later in the game. You don't normally get to come back here until later on in the game. So the tiara that we just picked up is a powerful helmet armor piece, and the dancing daggers that we just bought are going to be really useful for the boss fights that are coming up later. So now we can go back here and trigger the cutscene by stepping on this tile as if we entered from the other side. And now we actually progress with the story, the package opens, and the village gets blown up, and now Rydia actually appears with her dead mom. Those are basically the two major glitches of the run. So this is basically kind of set up our money situation for the rest of the run. We'll be able to buy all the stuff that we need, and we're going to pretty much go on from there. And the dancing daggers are going to be really useful because there's a mechanic in the Final Fantasy games, in most of the Final Fantasy games I think, or at least these early ones, where when you have a weapon equipped with someone, you can throw that weapon as an item at an enemy, and it will do a bunch of damage, and usually more damage than if you attack with it. And the thing about doing that in Final Fantasy IV is that the weapon doesn't get consumed, which is probably a bit of a design oversight on Square's part, because the dancing daggers that are going to be used by Rydia and Edward and Palamon, this is going to be an entirely scripted fight, by the way. So this is just a cutscene fight, basically. Rydia does her summoning her Titan, and this is why you can't go back to Mist after this cutscene, is that you actually get completely cut off from the village. So by entering Mist from the other side, we get access to stuff we're not supposed to have until later. So the dancing daggers are going to be some extra powerful weapons for the characters that can equip them, which is Rydia, Edward, Palamon, and Paladin Cecil can actually equip it once he becomes a Paladin. He's going to only get to do that for one fight because that's the end of the run, but if we were continuing on with the any percent no credits warp, then you'd use those a bunch more. So now we've lost Kain, and Rydia's unconscious, and Cecil doesn't know what to do with her, so he's just going to pick up this unconscious child, and away we go. So, all right, we're on a good seat. We're getting encounters already. So any encounters we get, we're just going to run away, and we're going to hope that we don't get any back encounters. Oh, wow, we're on a really good seat. This probably means that we're going to go have a stretch after the village where we don't get any for a bit. The encounter seeds are, wow, this is a good seed. This is a real good seed. So the encounter seeds are balanced such that you get, in all 256 steps, I think there's 10 or 12 encounters. So they're kind of spaced out in different ways. So now, once we get to Kaipo here, there's going to be a cutscene in the inn where Cecil's going to take Rydia to the inn because she needs to rest because she's knocked herself out after, destroying the village. So during this cutscene, while Rydia's asleep, a bunch of soldiers from Baron are going to come looking for her. And this fight with the soldiers here is a very simple fight, but it's the first appearance of another important piece of tech that we do in the speedrun called run buffering. And what that is if you hold down the L and R buttons during a fight, you will run away from the fight. But certain fights, like boss fights, you can't run away from. So if you try to run away from them, you get a message at the top of the screen that says you can't run. The thing about that message is that it stops all of the ATB bars from filling up during the battle. So what we're going to do here is, as soon as Cecil's turn comes up, we're going to get that up and put in his command while that's up there. And that should hopefully, if I get a little lucky and I do it fast enough, it should actually prevent the soldiers' ATB bars from filling up. And if I get this properly, yeah, no attacks. So that's the optimal way to do that fight, is you get no attacks from the soldiers by doing the run buffer thing. The captain actually tells them to attack and there's nobody left. Yeah, once everyone's dead, then the captain just runs away, and that's the end of that fight. So that run buffering tech. Sorry?
Basically, you just did zero punch manip.
I just did zero punch manip. That's exactly what I did. If you're an SMRPG runner, I just did zero punch manip. So that run buffer tech is not totally mandatory for this battle. You can just hold down the A button and get through that battle just fine. The soldiers don't pose any threat to you. It is going to be very important when we get to the Fabul Gauntlet because that's going to minimize the chances of Edward getting damaged and going into hiding and me having to pay lots of money as a result. I might regret that decision. We'll see. Nah, it'll be fine. It's all for charity. It's good. Yes. Okay, so donations. This is a good time for donations.
Going through the which Final Fantasy is the best.
Oh boy.
Rock Your John. Shoutouts to my elder
Thanks,
brother,
John.
Dork Masterflek, who is running Final Fantasy 4 Paladin percentage. Right now on stream. Sorry, I'm just reading. Super proud of you. Lots of love. In Burial, the correct answer is Final Fantasy 12. The game design is for programmers. And then 6581.
That's fair.
I don't know.
I haven't actually played 12, actually, believe it or not. So
Is that from In Burial?
In Burial,
Hi, In
yes.
Burial.
nice. Thank you. All right. So now we're going through the waterfall cave here, and we're going to meet Tella. Everybody's favorite sage. Everybody loves Tella. Tella's going to give us the best line of the entire game later on once we get to Dancian. So before we left the village there, we went to talk to Rosa. It's very important that you remember to do that, because if you don't, Tella won't join you. He'll just tell you to turn around and go back, because this cave is too dangerous for you. Once you talk to Rosa, we call that Rosa skip. It's not a tech. Don't do it. You have to go back and talk to Rosa again. See, now we're getting a stretch with no encounters, since we had a bunch earlier. Once Tella joins us... Oh, I was supposed to do a thing with Rydia. Now, I actually messed up already. I realized that I messed up already. Okay, so now what I need to do is go in here. I'm going to equip the tiara that we got onto Rydia. And I'm going to move Rydia down here, and I'm going to put Tella on top. This is the order that we want them in for the fights later on. So we're just gonna run away from any battles that we get in here. The main thing with these battles is as long as we don't get a surprise battle or a back attack, which is I just commentator cursed myself. Great. So that's kind of annoying. What that means is that all these enemies have to attack us before we get to run away because they get to go before we do. The back attacks, the surprise attack is annoying because the same kind of thing happens. The back attack is even worse because your row order is reversed. So the people in the back row, like Rydia, who's really squishy right now, are taking extra damage that they wouldn't normally be taking. Fortunately, we get a cutscene here where we rest, so any damage that we take is going to be null and void, basically. There's just another short cutscene we get a match here. This is a good time for donations, by the way, if you have any.
We will read donations when they do come in, and
right.
I'll just tap you a little bit. Okay.
All right,
Just,
cool. All right, cool. No problem.
Yeah, whenever you give a chance. So I'm just gonna go like this.
I'll just shout it out.
Yeah.
Just tap me on the shoulder. All right, let's go.
If you feel uncomfortable with the tap, just let me know.
Bad touching. All right, so the cave that we're going through here, the boss at the end of this cave, Octomom, is one of the first major kind of run-enders if you're going for PB attempts and stuff. That fight can be pretty annoying if Octomom decides to focus fire on Rydia because she's really squishy right now. And we need Rydia to stay alive because she's going to be our primary damage dealer at the moment. Alright, strike first is okay. It's actually suboptimal because that message has to pop up, so it's a couple seconds slower, but it's better than a surprise or back attack. So the other thing that we're going to do while we're going through here is we're going to grab one of the chests before we leave the cave, and that chest is going to have the Darkness Sword, which is a good sword upgrade for Cecil. And when we get to the Octomom fight, we're going to equip that on Cecil, which I'm going to remember to do, because in my final match in the Paladin % tournament, I forgot to equip it during the Octomom fight, and lost a bunch of time there as a result, so yay me. So here's the Darkness Sword. And then we're going to go out of this cave, and there's another cave that we have to go through. Tella warns us that we need to prepare for everything going through this cave here. Just to be safe. You know what, Octomom's not really a big threat, but I'm going to safety save just for for that, just since it's a marathon. So we're gonna go down the waterfall here, and Octomom's at the bottom of the waterfall. So fun fact about Octomom, as you might have guessed, it's an octopus boss. He has the most agility or speed out of any enemy in the entire game, including the final boss. He's faster than the final boss is. So at the beginning of the fight, the way that fight works is that as he takes damage, he loses tentacles. And the more tentacles he loses, the more his agility drops. So at the very beginning of the fight, he is the fastest enemy in the entire game. There's a couple of quirky spots like that where there's weird facts like that. There's another enemy we're going to meet later on that we call the true final boss of Final Fantasy IV because he has more HP than the final boss does. But again, there's a reason for that, and there's a way that basically doesn't matter. But it's a fun little tidbit that he has more HP than the final boss does. All right, so here's Octomom up here. All right, here we go. Yeah, don't forget to equip the Darkness Sword this time. Fortunately, there's an easy way to equip. Octomom's going to get a couple attacks in before we get to do anything, since he has really fast speed here. We're going to equip the Darkness Sword and start attacking. Okay, you need to stop hitting Rydia, please. So Tella's going to lightning him because in Rydia, we're going to equip the Dancing Daggers and throw them at Octomom, since she's going to do most of the damage here. Yeah, so now the problem is Rydia's getting pounded on a little bit. So the next time Tella comes up, I'm going to make sure that we... Okay, please don't hit Rydia. That'd be great if we don't hit Rydia. Okay, now see, this is what I mean about the damage rolls in this game. She can take 1 damage or she can take 16 damage. It's insane how wide the damage rolls can be sometimes. I'm used to like SMRPG where the damage rolls that you get are not that big. Just the amount of variance isn't as big. Oh wow, 120s are really low. Dancing Dagger is so good. This is why we get the Dancing Daggers, because they're obscenely powerful for this point in the game. They're basically going to make short work of all of the major bosses so far at the beginning of this. Could you please stop hitting Rydia? Octomom's being a bit of a jerk right now. Now, he's slowing down a bunch, so I think Rydia's okay. Yeah. She'll be fine. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Nothing could possibly go wrong. It's fine. Yeah, now he's getting slower now, so he's not attacking nearly as much. You bugger. All right, you know what? He's really I'm gonna do that just to be safe, because he's really gunning for Rydia this fight. He doesn't usually focus on her quite this much. Yeah. This is hentai % here. All right, so he's slowing down. Once he has 2 tentacles left, you get this dialogue box that says he's slowing down. So he should be almost dead now. He's gonna lose probably one more tentacle here. Probably a couple more attacks. So now the most optimal way to do this fight is actually to have Tella cast Stop on himself, since it skips his turn and he doesn't do that much damage. But the thing is, that's really unsafe, because if Rydia goes down, Tella's the only one that can revive her. So you're taking kind of a big risk if you do that. So in a marathon, I'm not really gonna take that risk, I think. We're just gonna finish off Octomom and get this done here. This should be almost the last hit. There we go. All right. So that fight's not too bad. That fight's not too bad. The next fight that we're gonna have, the next fight that we have is gonna be a little more hairy than that one. Yep. Yes, absolutely.
I need to see it. Daniel RGT donated $20. Hey,
yo, Daniel.
Shoutouts to Fleck and Pitch in the background. Good luck on this run, dog.
Dog.
Football John Madden.
Football John Madden.
He actually said football Jan.
Shoutouts to Daniel. Daniel's one of the SMRPG crew. He's a great guy. He's one of the newer runners. He's going to be racing with us in the SNES Superstars Marathon tomorrow night. You can check that out on the Speed Gaming channel, by the way, on Twitch. And that's going to be a great race. And Daniel has actually improved a lot. He's got a really good time now, and he hasn't been running the game for that long. So shoutouts to you, Daniel. You're a great dude. Oh, I went the wrong way. I went down up instead of down, because I'm busy talking. All right, so that doesn't matter, because there's no encounters in here. All right, so now we get everyone's favorite cutscene. Everyone shout out when we get to, you know what point. So Tella and Edward are going to have a little heart-to-heart here. Tella's not very happy because Edward's fiance, who's Tella's daughter, is lying dead on the ground. You spoony bard! Yeah. The greatest line in Final Fantasy history, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ted Woosley, for that one. That gem.
I'm also a big fan of this guy, R6.
Yeah, that's true. There's this guy R6, Son of a Submariner. There's a few pretty good ones. Thank you, Ted Woosley, for that gem. Shut your mouth.
That wasn't Woosley, but
Was it not Woosley?
no, Woosley started with
Yeah, so that was okay. So yeah, this game is Woosley. Yeah.
the Garland one.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, but Woosley was this game and Son of a Submariner in FF6. Yeah.
Let's not forget literally the entire script of SMRPG.
And the entire script to SMRPG, which, you know, as much as we might poke fun at some of the translations for that Ted Woosley did, he did a really great job with the amount of time that he had, which was not a lot. And SMRPG is one of the best localizations of all time. The localization of that game's phenomenal. Yeah, the localization in SMRPG is just phenomenal. Totally worth playing casually if you never have. Yeah, so now a bunch of people are going to get smacked in the face because that's how we resolve our differences in Final Fantasy IV. Including, Rydia's gonna smack people around a bit too, actually. She's gonna walk up to Edward and be like, hey, you're a big crybaby.
I mean, in fairness, she does become a doppelganger.
Yeah, like, to be fair, like, she's not wrong. You know, Edward's being a bit of a pansy right now, and Rydia just lost her mom, and she's dealing with it better than Edward is. So we're gonna smack Edward around here. I'm pretty sure Cecil hits harder than Rydia does.
This cutscene's amazing.
Yeah, this is a great cutscene.
Hey, we've hit $600.
Yeah. All right. Prince Edward joined as a bard. All right, so what happens here is we lose Tella and we gain Edward. And that's actually kind of good because Edward's actually more useful than Tella. He's just really kind of a pansy about fighting. He doesn't like to fight. If he gets too hurt, he runs away. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah, exactly. So now we get the hovercraft, and we're gonna go up to the antlion's nest because we need to get the sand ruby, which is apparently the only thing that will cure Rosa, all the way back in Kaipo. So again, hopefully we don't get any back encounters here. Now the fun thing about the antlion fight in this cave here, the antlion fight can be really scary casually because what he does is he will counterattack if you do any physical attacks on him, and he counterattacks really hard. However, we're going to throw dancing daggers at him, and the thing about dancing daggers is that doesn't count as a physical attack. So it doesn't trigger his counterattack. So it basically just makes mincemeat of him when he's a really scary boss when you're doing it casually. So the other thing that we're going to do in here that's kind of important is this chest right here has a life in it. We're going to pick that up just in case we get like a bad back attack or a surprise attack and Rydia ends up getting owned or something like that. Because she's still really squishy at this point. You should probably always get that in your run. Probably most of the top runners might skip that just to save that second there, but it's probably not worth it, especially in a race or a marathon. I don't think anybody really skipped that during the tournament matches there. Oh, we almost got to Antlion without another encounter. All right, as long as we didn't get a surprise or back attack, we're fine. We only got one back attack so far, so that's pretty good. So now we're going to do the antlion fight, and basically Cecil's going to do nothing during this fight because if he does anything, then that's really bad for us because we'll get counterattack. Edward and Rydia are just going to dancing dagger the heck out of antlion. So I believe Edward should go first here. Oh no, Cecil goes first. All right. Please don't bonk Rydia. So if we're lucky, we can kill him in 3 hits, but it doesn't look like we're going to get good enough damage rolls to do it. So I'm suspecting 4 hits for this probably. 4 is average. If you're lucky, you can kill him in 3 if you get really good damage rolls. Oh, that was a really good damage. All right, I stand corrected. We got really good damage rolls. We got a really good damage roll. So that was good. That's actually really lucky. We're on pretty good pace. So now we get the Sand Ruby, so now we can take this back, and the Sand Ruby cures Rosa for reasons. I don't know. It's a Final Fantasy game. Nothing makes sense. So Edward's gonna lament the fact that we had to kill the Antlion, because he's supposed to be friendly, but he's not. So once we get back to, we'll take the hovercraft back to Kaipo, then we'll get Rosa to join us. And then we're gonna basically make our way over to the next part of the game, which is where we get Yang, the Karate Man. And I love Yang. He's great. Yang is fantastic. So this is actually a good spot for donations because we're just walking back to the entrance, basically, if you've got any. Oh, we got a surprise attack. That's unfortunate.
Alright, we're still doing the donations for Best Final Fantasy Game, so if you guys want to donate to that,
Get
Best
your
Final
votes
Fantasy
in.
Game, 7. We are also doing a save and kill animal for Elminster's run, the last game. Save is currently at $90 and kill is at $75. So
Kill. Come on, kill.
if you guys want to kill, you're going to have to donate, okay?
Yeah. Definitely look forward to that run. Elm's run of Super Metroid is going to be insane. You do not want to miss it. All right, I was afraid we were going to get a third surprise attack in a row. We got a little unlucky with the surprise attacks there, but they weren't too bad, though, because the number of enemies in them was 2 and 3, which is not too bad. You can get a surprise attack or a back attack with like 6 enemies if you're unlucky, and then it takes forever for them to all do their stuff before you can run away. So that actually wasn't too bad. All right, we're out of here. So now we can take the hovercraft all the way back. We'll go over the rocks. Now, there actually, if you go down here and to the left, there's another set of rocks that will let us take the hovercraft all the way back to Kaipo. And then we can get Rosa. So we're actually making pretty good time so far. All right.
Look.
Yeah, it's bad luck to look.
Oh, look.
Never look at the
That's what
timer.
we did, and look what happened to our run.
Okay, now unfortunately the NPCs are deciding to troll me a bit here. I'm getting linebackered. I'm getting linebackered here. The other thing is, don't use the life on Rosa. Use the Sand Ruby. Life doesn't do anything. You'd think it would revive her, but it doesn't. You need the Sand Ruby. Yeah, she's in a coma. She's not dead, so I guess life wouldn't really work.
Next thing you know, we'll have a Dead Mountain thing again that happened with Mike.
Yeah. All right. So now we get to the best battle of the run. So earlier I mentioned there's an enemy that has more HP than the final boss. So this is where we actually get to see that enemy. If you remember, everyone's gonna take the night here to rest in Kaipo before we get going. So everyone's gonna get healed up, which is nice. During the night, Edward's gonna later that night. Edward's feeling kind of glum about his fiance dying and all. So he's gonna go out here and play his stupid harp because that's what he does. Nobody really likes him. He plays his harp and plays poetry and reads poetry, so you know he's got a lot of feelings. Yeah, you can definitely read donations. Yeah, read a donation now.
Okay, so Fluvu donates $20. Watching my first speedrun. You rock, Dork Masterflek.
Thank you, dude.
Proud sister-in-law. Oh,
Nice.
that's your sister-in-law. Skill Mamu donated. No, we are killing animals today, not saving. I told you. Boosted bondos this earlier. Kill the animals, kill the booster bondo, kill struggle.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So this fight here, this is another scripted fight where literally all you have to do is hold the A button down. I think my split for this is so easy, even Edward can do it. All you have to do is hold the A button down. This water hag has 45,000 HP. More HP than the final boss. So this fight is scripted so that after Anna does her little spiel with Edward, after you attack him 3 times, he goes "Arg" and kills himself basically, because Edward sure as heck didn't kill him. So if not for that trigger, he has 45,000 HP, which is kind of silly. It's just the way the game was programmed. But nothing else in the game has that much HP, not even the final boss. So that's kind of silly. So now we get to finally go on to the next part where we're going to get Yang. So if we got any more donations, this is also a good spot for. We're just going to be taking the hovercraft some more.
Hey Fleck, when do you fight Kulix?
Yeah, no, this is not Kulix %. We do not fight Kulix in this game.
But he's got the boss music from this game. He's got to be in this game.
Yeah, he does have the boss music from this game, but he's a visitor to the Mushroom Kingdom. Okay. Quit blocking me, NPCs. I'm getting linebackered over here.
How much health does the final boss have of this game?
Shoot, I can't remember actually offhand. It's less than 45,000, I know that. That's for sure. So, I think it's about, I think it's not actually that much of a gap. I think it's like 30,000, something along those lines. Okay, so, we're gonna take this across here. So now we can continue past the Antlion Den, and we're gonna go over here to the mountain. I'm gonna actually do another safety save right here, just in case, because the next boss fight on the mountain here can be a little hairy, but it's generally not a problem. So in order to get through the ice barrier on this mountain here, Rydia needs to burn it down for us with fire, but the problem is she hates fire. I can't imagine why. I mean, it's not like her village burned down because of us and her mom died or anything. Like, that definitely didn't happen about 20 minutes ago. So, fortunately, Rydia's pretty good at getting over things relatively quickly. She's like, hey, look, I know your mom just died 20 minutes ago, but if you could burn this barrier down for us, we'd really appreciate it. That'd be great. So, she's going to get over her fear and use fire, and actually learn the fire spell. Unfortunately, we don't actually get to use the fire spell, which is kind of a shame, because it's useful against the final boss of the run. Depending on what strategies you use against him, it can be useful. But Fire 1 is really weak, so it's generally not worth using. Fire 2, on the other hand, is useful. Ah, dang, we almost got to the door. So now, the random encounters that we get from this point on, they start getting a little scarier. If we get a surprise attack or a back attack, that can be a bit more of a problem. So we didn't, so that's fine. So now, we get to join up with Yang here. Achoo! Thanks, Ted Woosley. So this is another scripted battle here. Yang's gonna fight these three dudes here. So what we want, he actually says it. He yells "Achoo" and runs into battle. All right, we got pretty good damage rolls there, so we should be able. What we want to happen is for Yang to kill these guys in 3 rounds. He's gonna kick the first round, attack the second round. Oh, jeez, he's missing too. That's great, Yang. You're real useful. Hopefully, we'll get some good damage rolls on the kick, and he'll kill them in the 3rd round here. Otherwise, we'll lose a little bit of time for it. All right, we got lucky. That's cool. He usually does it in 3. Good job. Good RNG. Okay, so now, this is the next kind of hairy fight, is the Mom Bomb fight here. So now we team up with Yang. And Edward and Rydia are going to Dancing Dagger, just like before. Ooh, that's a bit of a bad one. So Cecil and Yang are just going to attack like normal. I'm actually going to cure Cecil, just in case... Rosa doesn't really do any damage in this fight. She does a little bit in the second half. So the first phase of the Mom Bomb fight has 800 HP, and after you do 800 damage to Mom Bomb, then Mom Bomb will start to explode. He'll go... Oh, jeez. Okay. So we're going to wait a couple of seconds here, and then Mom Bomb's going to explode. I went a little bit too early there. That's unfortunate. So I actually messed that up. So that's a bit of a problem, because what's going to happen is we want to kill these bombs as quickly as possible, and we need... It does a lot of damage to Edward and Rydia in particular. So if they're not at full HP, they can have a real bad time, basically. I'm actually going to heal them just briefly, and then kick with Yang. This will be fine. I need to do a slightly slower strats here. The problem is we want to throw Dancing Daggers at the Gray Bombs in particular, because if they live for too long, then they will explode. And they will do a lot of damage to people. So the Dancing Daggers will kill them in 1 hit. And then if there's anything left over, we can just finish them off with Dancing Daggers. And then hopefully... Everyone will live. Yay, nobody died. Okay, so we got a little low there, but nobody died. So that's good. I messed that up a little bit there. All right. So now we get Yang's going to join us. And then this is another good spot for donations, because we're just going to make a big long walk all the way to Fabul. So if we have any donations, now that Yang's joined us, this is a good time. What do we got? Anything? Nothing yet? All right.
I just want to update the save and kill. Save is $90, kill is $100.
Nice.
Again, if you're watching the stream and you want to donate and tell us what your favorite Final Fantasy game is and why, please tell us why. We would read it on stream, okay? Thank you for your donations.
Oh, we got a back attack. That's okay. This isn't too bad. Oh, Edward's in hiding. That's $5. Keep account of how many times Edward goes into hiding. So, sorry? Yeah, he goes into hiding when his turn comes up. The way that mechanic works is when his turn comes up, you can use the show command to have him come back out again, and then that basically just wastes his turn. And the problem is, if he's not healed, then he will just go into hiding again, basically. So this walk to Fabul, if we get any back attacks or surprises, I'm probably going to lose a bit more money because Edward's going to go into hiding. He got damaged down below 25% HP during the Mom Bomb fight. So if he goes into that critical zone where they go down on their knees, then that's what triggers the hide for him to run away. So I was thinking that that was likely only to happen during the Fabul Gauntlet, but it can happen in other places as well. But it's the most likely to happen during the next part of the run coming up here. So if it happens a bunch, then I'm going to donate more money. So Yay, Edward. Yeah, that's what we call that hide word, or if he dies, then we call it dead word. So we are definitely saving outside Fabul here because this is basically the most dangerous part of the run. Well, dangerous in terms of a time loss. If you get unlucky with enemy attacks, and if Edward gets damaged too heavy or goes down, you can lose minutes during this part of the run. If that happens, because this part called the Fabul Gauntlet, basically, there's a bunch of about half a dozen fights that you have to go through that are scripted as the Red Wings attack the castle, and Edward, Yang, and Cecil go out to defend them, because I guess they need the women to stay behind, which seems silly because they just did most of the damage against Mom Bomb. So frankly, I really appreciate it if we could have Rydia and Rosa in this fight, or at least Rydia, because she could at least chuck some dancing daggers. So what I'm gonna now, this is the other spot where the run buffer tech comes into play. I'm gonna be trying to run buffer as much as possible at the beginning of these fights, but the window is very tight. So we'll see how this works. Okay, I didn't get that one, but fortunately the general is okay. So Edward's taking a hit there, so that's kind of bad. That's a bit of a problem. So ideally, if you do that run buffer right, Edward can actually get the dancing dagger off to kill the soldiers before they actually attack at all. Unfortunately, the window for that is really, really tight, and there's also RNG involved because it depends on where their ATV bars start at the start of the battle. They can start more full or more empty. So, and since the bars are invisible, you don't know exactly where they are until the battle actually happens. So, as the airships start bombing the castle, we're going to go inside, and we're going to have more fights with these soldiers, and monsters start coming in. The monster fights are actually less scary than the soldier fights. The soldiers do a lot of damage, so... Alright, this is fine. Yeah, the monster fights are not too much of a problem here. They shouldn't be a huge threat here. The monsters, for some reason, do far less damage than the soldiers do. Nice damage roll, Cecil. Real useful. That's okay. Edward will be useful and finish him off, and he's taking more damage. So we might get a hide word or a dead word yet. We'll see. Yes, you can read some donations here.
Give me a second. Okay. Donation $50 from Shayla Bird. Shoutouts to the Dreamboat
Shayla.
on stream. Favorite FF is 7, although Dork Master is trying to convert me to 6. $20 from Pitch01. My favorite Final Fantasy is Super Mario RPG.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So that time, I actually managed to get the dancing daggers in. Oh no, that's really bad. That's really bad. Yeah, that's two. That's two hides. Man, these damage rolls. These damage rolls are real bad. So that's a problem there. I actually managed to get the dancing daggers off before either of them attacked, and so that was good. So only one of them got an attack in. Unfortunately, he attacked Edward and he rolled pretty high on his damage. So unfortunately, Edward is now in critical range, which is pretty bad because for the last 3 fights now, he's basically going to start hiding right away. So we're actually going to lose a bunch of time here, unfortunately. So I guess this isn't going to be a marathon PB after all. That's unfortunate.
But on a great note, we've passed $700.
All right. Woo!
And shout outs to Dork for saying really, really informative things about the game. Because damn,
Yes.
you're not breathe and drink water.
Yeah, I'm trying to breathe and drink water. Actually, yeah. Can you refill me? Thank you. That'd be great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Again, here we go. So that's 4. Yeah, exactly. So we're not likely to die in these fights. We should be fine. There's only one more soldier fight that's really a problem, and we should be okay. The only problem is that it's going to take a little while because we're doing less damage with Yang and Cecil since we don't have Edward's dancing daggers. So, all right, this is the final fight of the gauntlet here. So I didn't fail in this clip at least, so that's nice. Yeah, and the reason we have this final fight is because Edward trips and falls. Edward is so useful. He's so useful. What a guy. What a guy. Oh man. This is gonna be a little hairy here. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, he's gonna immediately run away and hide. So that's like 6, I think. Oh, so now, all right. So we barely survived, but we managed to get through the Fabool Gauntlet. And that's why it's called the Fabool Gauntlet, because if you get some bad enemy attacks there and Edward goes down or starts hiding, you just lose a whole bunch of time. So this is fine now. We're through that. That's pretty much the worst part of the run. The rest of it should be fine. That's really the worst part. That's probably the biggest reset point. If you this is basically a scripted fight with Kane, because Kane is now turned against us, and Cecil wants to know why he's suddenly fighting his best friend. Basically, we just want to die in this fight as quickly as possible. So Cecil's going to smack himself in the face. There we go. And then basically put yourself hopefully into critical range, and then Kane will just kick you and end the fight right away. So this fight is just scripted. So now we're completely done with Fabool, and we have another bunch of cutscenes. So if you have any more donations, this is a good time. Nothing? All right. All right, so the other cool thing about this cutscene is that this is the first time you get to see Golbez, who is now basically controlling Kane and the Red Wings and the Kingdom of Baron. So Golbez is kind of seems like the principal villain, at least for like most of the game. He's actually not the final boss. There's going to be another villain that's introduced later on for reasons, but we're not going to see that because we're not going to get to that part of the game. So Kane's going to take the crystal, Golbez is going to zap everyone, they're going to take Rosa, because, hey, why not, right? May as well kidnap a maiden while we're here. Seems like a fantasy thing to do. Rydia is actually going to revive everyone and cast Cure on everyone. It would have been really helpful if she could have been with us during the Fabool Gauntlet, but like we said, we couldn't have the women out in front for reasons. Alright, so this is just basically going to be a big, long cutscene that we have to mash through a little bit.
How do you think you're doing so far in the run?
I'm definitely not on PB pace because Edward going into hiding during the Fabool Gauntlet easily is going to lose a couple of minutes there. So it'll still be okay. We'll still finish underestimate, but we were actually doing pretty decent, like pretty not bad before that. If Edward didn't go into hiding, we could have had a pretty good run actually. So that's unfortunate, but it happens. Nothing you can really do about that. So the next thing we need to do is go to the inn. Everyone's gonna, have a little cutscene here and figure out what to do next. To decide what we need to do next is go find the rest of the crystals and stop Golbez from getting them. And what we can do is take a boat from Fabool to go to the next part of the game. We also talk to the King of Fabool while we're here, and he gives us a very useful thing, the Black Sword. So this is the strongest weapon that Dark Knight Cecil can get. We won't get any more weapons for him until he becomes a paladin, which is the point where the run ends. So when we get out of the castle here, the one thing that we need to do, that I need to remember to do, before we get on the boat, because the boat is a giant cutscene that's going to change our party makeup, is we need to take the tiara back off Rydia, because we're about to lose all the people in our party, basically. And we're going to need that tiara later on. So I'm going to go in here and just swap the cap back on Rydia. And we're also going to equip the Black Sword on Cecil while we're in the menu, just for convenience. So, good, we didn't get any encounters there. That's a really annoying spot to get encounters since it's so short. If we got any more donations, this is a perfect spot because this is a big cutscene mashing party.
I just want to update you guys on the kill and save. Oh, actually, I did said it. Save is at $90 and kill is at $100. And again, shout outs to Dork Masterflek for the very informative speedrun so far.
Information.
Yeah.
We want information.
Again,
I probably dated myself horribly with that reference.
If you guys are watching on stream,
he knows.
If you're watching on stream and you want to donate, let us know your favorite Final Fantasy game. You can do so by donating to the link you see on the top. Okay. Let us know and why it is your favorite Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe if it was a Simpsons reference, maybe. But since we're in a cutscene mashing, shout out to The Prisoner. That show's awesome. Go watch that show. It's trippy as heck. Yeah. You are number 6. Go watch that show. It's a classic British TV show from the 60s, and it is really weird and neat. No, I have not seen the remake. I'm kind of scared too. I think it's gonna ruin it. I'm worried it's gonna ruin it. So, all right. So now that we're on a boat, the next thing that happens is we're gonna get interrupted by the Master of the Sea. Funny thing, because we have text limitations in this, it can't be. Is that true? Leviathan. All right. Shout outs to text limitations. Yep. H's are for losers. So Leviathan is going to attack the ship and throw everyone off, basically. And we're about to lose basically our entire party here. So that's why we needed to take the tiara off of Rydia, since we're gonna use the tiara for Palom, who we're about to get after we're done this. And then that's going to be pretty much essential to the final boss fight in the run, which is going to be coming up very shortly. Very soon. In probably about 10 to 15 minutes. We got a donation.
Indario donated $10. Number 6, please report to the Green Dome. C. Levesque, good work, Mike Levesque, for $50. It's Mama MKL?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Nice. Good job, guys.
job.
All right, so now we're all on our own. Now we get to go to Mysidia. So Mysidia was that town that we were sacking in the intro sequence. And what we're gonna make use of all the money that we have. We're gonna go in here and we're going to buy some powerful armor here. And we're also going to buy the items that we need for the rest of the run. The shopping would be a little bit different, I think, if you were going to continue and do the any % no credits warp. You need a little bit more stuff here. But for this run, this is just fine. We're going to buy heal, ether. We'll just buy all the stuff that we need. You can buy a bunch of this stuff, and you'll never run out because you can buy as much as you want because we have 65 million gold. All right, not getting blocked by the mages here. Good stuff. All right, the NPCs aren't playing linebacker this time. So NPC RNG is great in this game. So now we can go and meet the head of the village here, and we're going to get Palom and Porum, everyone's favorite characters in this game. We love these two. These two are great. All right. So once Palom and Porum join us, we're going to head over to Mount Ordeals, which is just basically going to be another big long walking and running away from random battles. And that's going to be basically the final part of the run because we're going to fight the final boss there and become a paladin. All right. So now we got Palom and Porum. And we're going to do a big long walk to Mount Ordeals if this NPC will get out of our way. We're getting linebackered a bunch here. All right, so this is a big long walk, so if we have any more donations, this is a good point for them. Because this is a pretty boring part of the run here. Hopefully we don't get a back attack or surprise attack. We're good for now. All right. All right, well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can point out about this. So, I guess I can point out, when you saw me, you saw me setting up the seed manipulation at the beginning of the game, I was using a save file that is in a glitched location in the game, which is the 64 floor glitch. That glitched area is, if you navigate that glitched area and get to a certain point, there is a save point that basically crashes the game. We're going to save outside of Mount Ordeals here, just in case things go horribly wrong. And that basically sets the, it crashes the game. It hard crashes the game and sets the memory of the console to a known point, which is how we do the seed. It's the easiest way to do the seed manipulation for the beginning of the game to get seed 92. So that one's going to be nice and give us ice spell to get rid of the fire here. And he's just a little smug about it. So he's going to get bonked. Pow. All right. Shall we go now? Yes, let's go. So now all we have left, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we got Rosa tied up because why not? We're being a stereotypical arch villain. We got you know, James Bond villain stuff to do here. And now I never noticed this before until somebody pointed it out, but is that a cannonball suspended above Rosa's head there? Like, really, Golbez? I mean, I guess if you're gonna go for the villain cliches, just go whole hog, I guess. Speaking of whole hog, that'll come into play later on. So, Golbez is gonna dispatch Mylon to go and fight us, even though Kane wants to go and fight Cecil as well. Golbez won't let him, since he was not too good at it last time. So, Mylon is basically the final boss of the Paladin run. He's the first of the 4 elemental fiends that Golbez has employed. And if you had continued with the rest of the game, then you would fight the other ones as well. But for purposes of this run, he's going to be the final boss. And there's going to be 2 phases to that fight, and when we get to the top of the mountain, we'll see what that looks like, as long as we can stop running into encounters here. At least we're not getting surprise or back attacks, so this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. Oh my goodness. Oh jeez. I commentator cursed myself again. So that's about the worst thing that could have possibly happened. We got a zombie dance party up in here. 7 zombies and a surprise attack. That's pretty amazing. So now we have to wait for all 7 of these jerks to do their thing before we can actually run away. Yeah, like we're not really gonna die. It's especially since we have all the healing items we could possibly want now. It's just really annoying. I did kind of commentator curse myself there, so I guess I only have myself to blame. So now Tella's climbing up the mountain here because he's looking for a spell that he forgot a long time ago that he's trying to relearn. And it's a very powerful piece of magic that you would get to use if you continued later on in the game. Pow! So Tella's going to rejoin our party now. Since he actually knows, you know, the village where Paladin and Porum are from. They actually know who he is. He's Old Man Tella. Tella used to be a very powerful wizard, but now he's forgotten all of his most powerful magic. So, yeah. Alright. Alright, Sage Tella joined. So now Tella's going to join us for the final part of the run here. Okay, so we have only one more screen to climb up here, and then we'll be at the top of the mountain, and we'll be ready to do the final fight. These 7 zombies, man, they're gunning for another zombie dance party. Fortunately, we didn't get surprised this time. I think that's actually some of my friends actually named that split zombie dance party. Not me. I told you it's not me. Okay, so actually, you know what I'm gonna get? Yeah, see, I knew I was gonna get an encounter here. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna get to the top of this before we do this. Now, we're gonna go in. I'm gonna cure everyone up here, move the cure to the top just for convenient. Since we have all the cure items we could possibly want, I think that's all we need there. And then we will equip the tiara, Gaia, and Silver, all the armor that we bought. Hallam, we will equip, also equip the Gaia stuff and the silver ring that we bought. And Tella actually already has Gaia armor on, so he gets the helmet and the silver. And away we go. Oh, and we need to swap these 2 positions. So the reason we swap these 2 positions for the Mylon fight here is that we're going to be using the twin attack with Palam and Porum. And the power of that attack is based on the twin that starts it. And we're going to be starting it with the white mage Porum here. So if I do this properly, we're going to start by throwing Cure 2s at these zombies, because the zombies, like any Final Fantasy game, they're undead enemies. So any Cure magic will damage them, which is really handy. So we're going to use Twin with Porum here. So Porum has the Tiara on, and the Tiara gives Porum a big boost to magic, magic power. Ah, shoot, I got a zombie attack. Alright, I got 1 drain there. That's not too bad. So I didn't do that quite fast enough, or I would have got no drains, but it's okay because I'm trying to explain stuff. So hopefully the twin attack will be Flare instead of Comet. Alright, cool, that's good. So that's a pretty good damage roll for Flare. So what we want is to have Palam and Porum basically use the twin attack and kill Mylon here. Mylon has 21 HP, and I'm going to put the Dancing Dagger on Palam here just to get a little bit more extra damage. So hopefully Mylon won't focus fire down one of the twins. He's done that before, and that just causes a whole bunch of time to be lost there. Like that. Hopefully we don't get too many more of those. It would be really great if we didn't get any more of those. Alright, Tella's fine. Tella's useless. He doesn't need to do anything. So hopefully if we get... Please stop that. Please stop that. Okay, hopefully this should be enough to kill him if the damage is good. Oh, my body. So, Mylon has 2100 HP, so once he goes down, that's the first part of the fight. So, now the second part of the fight is that he turns into his true form and attacks us when we try to cross the bridge here. So, what we're going to do is we're going to cure everyone up, back to full health here, and then we're going to use Palom, has a spell called Piggy, which turns everyone into pigs. And the reason that we do this is we change the rows here because this fight is a back attack. So we want to change our rows so that everyone's in the right rows here. And we get attacked from behind by Mylon Z, which is Mylon's final form here. Fall flat into the deep ravine. That's everyone's favorite line. So during this fight, Mylon's attacks cause a poison status. And the Piggy status prevents poison. It actually overrides it so that you don't get poisoned. So basically nobody's going to get poisoned during this fight, and now that Mylon has assumed his undead form, he gets damaged by cure attacks. So we can basically just chuck cure 2s at him since we bought a whole ton of them, and it'll do basically more damage than any other like attack that these characters could do at this point. Another way that you can do this fight that's not as safe as this way, this is the safest way to do it, you can leave Palom and Porum not piggied, and they can do the twin attack, but then you risk getting poisoned, and if they get poisoned, what happens is when your turn comes up, you get a status bar at the top that says, hey, you've been poisoned, and that just takes forever to go away. So the reason it's good to avoid the poison status is just purely for time, because it takes forever for that box to come up and disappear. So this fight is basically free with this strat if you do this, and it's only like a tiny bit slower than doing it the faster way. There are some glitches that you can use. I'm actually getting pretty good damage rolls on the Cure 2s. They're doing a pretty decent amount of damage, so if anyone goes down in this fight, we basically don't care. We just keep chucking Cure 2s. There we go, Mylon's dead. So he's basically the final boss for this fight, and time is going to be coming up in a few minutes after this. So the piggy strategy is basically completely free. So the only thing you need to worry about is the first phase of the fight and hoping the twins don't get focus fired down. What? You beat me twice. So Mylon is the one that falls into the deep ravine. All right, good. No encounters there either. It's really annoying to get an encounter going from the bridge to here if you get unlucky. So the other nice thing about the piggy strat, why I love it, is that Tella, Palom, and Porum are NPC sprites during this cutscene, but Cecil's still a player character, so he still has the piggy status effect on him. So when he gets the sword and becomes a paladin here, it's Pigadin. It's Piggy Paladin. So that's another reason I really like this strat, is just because you get to see the Piggy Paladin.
The strongest pig in
the strongest pig in the land. So now Cecil is a paladin. So there's one more fight that we need to do before we actually get the official end of the run. And that's the fight with the Dark Knight Cecil here. And what you're supposed to do in this fight is not attack him, because they're trying to teach you the ways of being peaceful. However, we have dancing daggers. And the thing about dancing daggers is dancing daggers don't count as an attack. It's the same logic as the antlion fight. So we can speed this up a bit by using dancing daggers and not having to wait for the Dark Knight Cecil to attack us a bunch of times and then just give up and go away. He is going to just keep using this Dark Wave attack on us, but it's fine. This fight is not going to kill us or even come close. So the other thing that we can do is on the last run, we can try to do a run buffer. Oh, I don't think it's going to matter because he already got an attack in, so if we do a run buffer, it should be fine either way. And then he should go down with 4 attacks. There we go. So that just makes that fight, this scripted fight end a little bit faster. You're not really in any danger of dying. So time is coming up really shortly. As soon as basically the next text box comes up here when Cecil becomes a paladin appears.
Just cue him in.
Which is right... Time. There you go. All right. We did it. We became a paladin. All right. Hey, was that sub 105? 104. Nice. Okay. So we probably lost like 2 minutes at Fabul because Edward went into hiding. So that probably would have been like a 102 or something, which is pretty decent. My PB is 101.55. So that probably would have been pretty close to my PB if not for the Fabul gauntlet going badly. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Oh, also, the other thing that Tella remembers is Medio. Tella learns Medio. All right, that's cool.
Any final words? You want to see on the screen or social media that they can ask you questions about Final Fantasy 4?
I am Dork Masterflek on any social media, basically. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Twitch.tv/DorkMasterflek/subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have partner.
For Anime North, what are you running?
For Anime North, I'm going to try to submit as many things as possible. My goal is I could do this also for Anime North as well. I would also want to submit DuckTales on the NES because I did a tournament for that last month, and that was a lot of fun. That's also a really short run. I'm going to do probably Super Metroid 100% because I believe Elm is going to be doing a different category. So I'm going to run vanilla Super Metroid for us, and hopefully I can learn Super Mario World is another one I want to do. I did all castles in a tournament last summer, so I would really like to do 96 exits. So that would be a lot of fun.
That's not a request for me. I still have to go through the list of submissions, so sorry.
Well, that's my plan. I haven't actually submitted them yet, so I need to submit them by the end of the month.
I listened to all the games that you mentioned. So
Yeah.
just say.
Yeah.
But good job.
All right, thank you for having me.
Alright,
And I owe you guys some money for Edward hiding.
Can you buy your PS4?
All right.
DDR news. Sorry. I think you're getting the extra D. I keep forgetting the extra D. I'm
Look,
sorry.
we're SMRPG runners. We never forget the D.
I'm just gonna grab all my stuff. Is it unplugged or is it still connected to the capture?
Hey, Russell. Russell's estimate.
Oh, thank you.
Really hoping.
I tried to just be as informative as possible, and it's pretty easy because I can blab fairly well.